Hello, welcome back. So in this part, we will try to understand the new topic which is called the moment of resistance. Well, as I told you that, in the previous two parts, we have seen uh, the modes of failure of the beam, and now with those consideration, we will try to find out the capacity of the beam. Now, the capacity of beam we generally calculate in terms of moment of resistance. Moment of resistance. So now what is moment of resistance? We will see that. So moment of resistance is basically the resistance offered by the beam against the external load. So whenever there is a load applied on the beam, so beam offers a resistance against the effect of that load, and that resistance is called moment of resistance. So now we will see what is this moment of resistance and how do we find out this moment of resistance. So again, I'm making a beam section, like beam is like this, and these are the supports. And for example, if it is subjected to this UDL, so because of this UDL, if I cut a cross section at any point, so at that cross section, what will be the capacity of beam against that load? So if I cut the cross section will look like this. So there will be the load, and this will be the neutral axis. Okay, and above neutral axis the concrete is in compression, and below it is in tension, and to support the tensile force we are providing the reinforcement. Okay, so if we see the stress diagram of this beam section, so the stress diagram will look like this. So here you can see this stress diagram will look like this. So above the neutral axis you can see it is the stress diagram showing for the concrete, and below the neutral axis, as we know that concrete is being ignored, and we consider that concrete is not taking any tension and all the tension is borne by the steel. So at the level of the steel, you can see I have marked this arrow which is showing the uh, this arrow is showing the tensile force or tension force, while above the neutral axis all the compression is borne by the concrete. So even up to the depth of neutral axis, we know that maximum stress in the concrete will be at the contact of the load, point of contact of the load. So you can see this line is the point of contact of the load. So at this line or at this fiber, the maximum stress will be experienced, and because of that, we consider that maximum stress is equals to sigma CBC, which is the permissible stress. So maximum stress will be at the uppermost fiber, and corresponding to neutral axis, there will be the the lowermost stress, and that is why you see the stress value here is the lower, and the variation of the stress along the depth is linear. So that is why this triangle is formed, because it is linear. So this triangle is forming. So this triangle is called the compression stress triangle. So across the depth of beam, the stress is varying in terms of this triangular form. So if we try to find out that total stress or total compressive force will be, uh, where it will be concentrating. So we know that as this is the triangle, so from this line, the CG of the triangle will lie at x by 3 distance. Well, x is the depth of neutral axis. You can see here. So x is the neutral axis depth. So the force, which is compressive force. So compressive force will act at x by 3 distance. So that is the C. Similarly, the tension force will act at the CG of the this tensile force. So CG of the tensile, CG of reinforcement. So reinforcement is in terms of the bar, and bars are circular. So along the center of the bar, the tensile force will pass, and that tensile force is shown by this arrow. So the distance between the compressive force and tensile force is termed as Z, and this Z is called lever arm. So as we know that there is no force to balance this compressive force, or there is no force to balance this tensile force. So what will happen? We know that when there are two forces like this, and if they have some certain distance, so these two forces are parallel, but their direction is different. So we call this as unlike parallel force system. So we call this as unlike parallel force system. So unlike parallel force system makes a couple. So you see, this force is trying to rotate like this, and this force will try to rotate like this. So ultimately, what will happen? This rotation will occur like this. So in the same way, you can see that this is the compressive force and this is the tensile force. So what is happening is they are trying to create a couple, and the distance between these two forces is Z. So these two forces C and T, they are trying to make a couple. So the couple will move like this. So this is the couple. This is the couple that is happening because of the application of this load. Now what will happen? This beam will offer a resistance against this circular movement, this couple movement. So to balance a couple, so now we know that this is the couple which is forming because of the existence of C and T. So to balance this couple due to C and T, the beam offer a resistance in terms of the couple only. So there will be a couple in the opposite direction like this. So the couple offered by this and this. So this is being offered by the beam resistance, and this is the magnitude of this couple will be termed as the moment of resistance. So now we can say that if we want our beam to be in equilibrium, then we will say that couple formed due to load or external load should be equals to the couple by beam resistance, beam internal resistance. So both are equal. So now how do we find out this couple? Well, if there are force like this, and if it is the distance, the first condition is that both this force, say this is the C force and this is the T force, they should be equal, which means the first condition is C and T should be equal. And in our case also, this C and T both are equal. We consider that both are equal, and there should be a distance which in our case it is Z. So how do we find out the magnitude of the couple? So magnitude of the couple will be equals to the magnitude of any one force multiplied by the distance between them. So couple can be calculated in terms of C into Z or T into Z. So T into Z or C into Z, that will be the magnitude of the couple, and this magnitude of the couple will be equals to the couple by beam internal resistance. So that is the moment of resistance relationship. So we will see that I have provided here. So as I said, as there is no resultant force acting on the beam and the section in the equilibrium, the total compressive force is equals to the total tensile force, which is C is equals to T. And these two forces which are equal and opposite separated by a distance which is Z, will form a couple, and the moment of this couple is equal to the resisting moment or moment of resistance of the section. So this we will see now. How do we find out the uh, compressive force? Now we know that the compressive force, which is C, and it acts at x by 3 distance. So here in the figure also you can see this is the value of C, and it is acting at x by 3 because the CG of this triangle is lying at a distance x by 3. So how do we find out this C? Well, C is basically a force, and we know that force is equals to stress into area. Now, what will be the value of stress? So stress in the concrete. So we know that at the top, stress in the concrete is sigma CBC, and at the bottom, stress is 0. So neither we can apply a sigma CBC, neither we can provide sigma, 0 value. So what we do is we provide average stress value. So average stress value is sigma CBC plus 0 divided by 2. So that becomes the average stress. This is called average stress in concrete, and multiplied by the area. Now area of concrete, we know that only the area of concrete above neutral axis is effective, and that is why this is the beam section, this is NA. So that is why what we do is we consider only this part. We consider only this part of concrete which is effective in compression. So only this part is taking the compressive force. So we will have the area of this concrete part only. So this is B and this is X. So area will become B into X. So ultimately the formula will look like this. So this is how we get the value of C. Similarly, now we have just calculated the value of C. Now we will find out what will be the value of T. Now in case of T, this is called tensile force, and again as this is a force, it will be equals to stress in steel. Stress in steel multiplied by the area of steel. I am writing here equivalent because what we have done is in the previous lecture I have explained the transformed section. So in the transformed section we generally find out the equivalent area of the steel and equivalent stress. So equivalent stress is basically the F. So I can write here T is equals to F EQ multiplied by equivalent area. So now we know, I have explained what is the value of FEQ. FEQ is FST by M multiplied by AST equivalent is equals to M into AST. So this M and M will be cancelled out, and the value of T will become sigma ST multiplied by AST. So that will becomes the value of T. So this value I have already provided you. So there it says T will be equals to, well here also M will be cancelled out. So this will become sigma ST into AST. So now we have find out the value of C and T. Now how do we find out the moment of resistance? Well, I explained in the previous slide that moment of resistance is basically equivalent to the magnitude of the couple, and magnitude of the couple will be equals to T into Z or C into Z. As I told you that C and T both are equal. So to get the value of magnitude of a couple, so either we multiply T by this distance between C and T, or if we multiply C into this distance, we get the same value. So that is why MR will be equals to T into Z or C into Z. So we already know the T value and C value, and we also knows the Z value. So Z is D minus X3. So D is the effective depth of beam. minus x by 3, you can see. So distance between C and D, sorry, C and T will be D minus x by 3. So now formally we are writing the expression for the moment of resistance. So moment of resistance, if we calculate from the concrete side, I mean if we calculate from the C side, so C is belonging to concrete, so we write this as concrete side. And if we calculate moment of resistance from the steel side, then it will be called steel side. So this formula will be moment of resistance from the steel side, and this will be the moment of resistance from the concrete side. So we will continue this lecture in the next part. Thank you.